the excitement continues. Like this is just a roller coaster ride.
Buddy, I am excited for today. We got a banger for you guys. We got an undefeated savage in bare knuckle, the dream killer, Edgard Plazola. He's been on an absolute tear since 2024. He joined the organization in 2022, I believe, and it's been on an absolute tear since then, dominating. Nobody has been able to beat that puzzle. And yeah, man, we're excited to talk to him. Can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him pop up in the lobby here. Relentless pressure, just power shots. I don't know. It doesn't seem like this guy's got any quit in him. He just comes forward, throws heavy, and doesn't look like he's getting tired. Doesn't look like he's even really been hurt in there yet. So
Man,
he's
he's a
breezing through the division, man.
absolute savage, bro. The overwhelming pressure that that guy puts on you, he's putting guys through hell in there, man. The dream killer, like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
not too
absolutely.
many guys.
Go
Not
ahead.
too many guys are getting away with having that name, the Dream Killer. But this guy doesn't know what defeat tastes like. You know, he's 4-0 as an MMA fighter, and then Puck 5-0 in Bkfc. So he doesn't lose.
Man, we had a great talk with Elijah Harris yesterday, the Buffalo Soldier. Had a little bit of connection issues mid interview, and like once we were editing up, we seen that there was a little bit of connection issue, but I think we made the best of it. We had a great interview with him, man.
Yeah, that was definitely a treat. What a big day for us yesterday. Plazaola, like I said, the excitement continues. Another 145 or twos. Um, I don't know. I wonder where he's ranked because I wouldn't be surprised if we seen him in there with King Kai one day. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, that bro. Honestly, I hope this is a year for him because I can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah. No, he's definitely on the come up and they're keeping him active too. He's 3 fights in 2024. He's already got one under his belt for 25. Hopefully he's got a little preview of his next fight for us. Maybe he's got something in the works
Yeah,
recently.
he fought on the March 27th Thursday card, the card that Davis fought Palomino and Perdomo was on, and had an absolute savage outing. Put it on Louis Lopez, finished him in the third round, and
Yeah.
same thing, just that overwhelming pressure, just put it on him, man. Like,
Yeah. Louis Lopez, like he looked real good in his last fight too. So not a slouch by any means. And they just can't find anyone to really test this guy. The Dotson fight was fun, but man, he put it on him too. He just relentless pressure. You just can't
yeah,
flip it.
yeah, the king of knockdowns, like I said to you, he's managing to knock these guys down before finishing them at least 3 to 4 times, putting them through hell in there.
Yeah. Got him in the lobby here. So let's welcome him. Big throwing hands. Welcome to the Throwing Hands podcast, my man. Here comes the Dream Killer. Edgard Plazaola.
There he is.
Hear me?
We hear you, brother.
Excellent.
How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me, guys.
Fucking legend, bro. Thank you for coming on. I thought you were about to kill our dreams too.
No worries. No worries.
Oh man, this is amazing. This is a blessing for us. This is our second interview. I don't know if you've seen yesterday. We got a chance to interview Elijah Harris as well. I don't know if you
Oh,
know.
no, I haven't. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, yeah, great interview too, man. Yeah. So how you feeling, brother? Coming off that big win in Hollywood last Thursday or March 20th?
Yes. March 27th. Yes. Man, I'm feeling great. Extremely happy. Like when you visualize something so much and become obsessed with it and finally see it come into realization, it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, man. You know what? We've been watching you for a while, and every fight, you just seem to be putting that pressure on, heavy hands, pushing forward. Like I don't think I've seen anyone hurt you yet. Like for bare knuckle fight, you haven't shed a lot of blood yet. You pushing the pace. No one's backed you up.
Yeah.
How did you come
I'm
into bare
always.
knuckle?
I'm sorry, say that again.
What made you come into bare knuckle? I know you were a 4-0 on the MMA scene, so you were coming up there. And then what made you want to transition over to the bare knuckle scene?
Man, honestly, I guess what I could say is, like preparation meeting opportunity. I started doing MMA for some time because of injuries. Like my family started growing, so I started like focusing more into, like being a provider Then from there, that being said, I never stopped training. I never stopped, grinding and having that hunger for competition. With this opportunity came up, my manager, Aldo Espinosa, was the one who told me, hey, man, listen, you are one of the best fighters I've seen in the world. Like, you are the best fighter in the world that nobody knows. They told me, and I think, this could be a good opportunity for you. And I always been an all-rounder fighter, my background, I was being MMA since day one. So I always try to like not have weaknesses, if you get what I mean. My striking, my grappling, my wrestling were always, like on point. So when they say bare knuckles and I check the rules, I was like, yeah, man, come in. I am always going there, with a gladiator mentality. So I was ready to go, no hesitation. And especially because it started making sense financially as well, that had to be clear as well,
Yeah, that's right. You got a family to feed, man. That's right. You need to get paid.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like when that was another reason I started doing MMA, like MMA, obviously I understand how the process is. I needed to like locally and build my record up and hoping, to have a call, from the big promotion. So as my family started growing, like I need to do that to the side. But I always was coaching, so I was always in the game. Like I say, always coaching, always helping the other fighters. So always stay in top shape, always getting better and improving. So when finally this opportunity came out, I guess we were ready to jump in.
Amazing. Did you always go by the nickname Dream Killer?
Yes, yes, yes. Since back in the day, since my amateur, I think I wasn't even had my debut done, like when they already put me that name, the Drink Killer. I guess it was the look, I've always been like very muscular and always I like to stay concentrated on while I'm training on my fights and I always keep the intensity up. So I guess like even when they would see me hitting the bag, they would like get that impression, and I guess that's where the name came out, the Drink Killer.
That's a fucking savage nickname, bro. I love it.
Thinking,
Yeah, if I was gonna be signing that contract against someone's named the Dream Killer, I might think twice. Like, I don't know. I want this to go well.
but I was saying that talking about my nickname, like I always wish the best to all my fighters. I had never made they make anything personal, but it is true. It's kind of like my nickname started to come into like realization as well, because every time that I fight, my opponent's career completely changed. Like I really killed their dreams in some way. So I guess like the name is landing perfectly fine.
Absolutely, bro. That's one of the more savage nicknames I've ever heard of. I love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, guys.
How old were you when you really started fighting?
Oh man, I started late. Well, for where I'm from, like a very young age, obviously like many other bare knuckles fighters, like I was fighting a lot, but I never had the opportunity to train any type of martial arts or boxing or anything, right? I actually started training as an adult. So I started when I'm 21 years old, actually. I'm 21 years old, I started.
And
Always, my back, like trying to like be on best shape as possible. The comeback, fighting, it was until 2000, yeah.
2011, 21.
Wow.
You're born in Nicaragua.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry, guys, I'm moving so much. I can't to plug my computer. Okay.
We're just glad you're taking the time. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate
But no, I just don't want to like get disconnected because this thing die, So there we go now, sir.
You're good. So you were born in Nicaragua and you moved to Miami.
Well, I first moved to Virginia. I spent like a year there. I think it was a blessing because that year that I moved up north, that I was living up north, it helped me to catch up on the English a lot, And then after that, I moved down here to Miami. I think if I would have gone straight to Miami, I wouldn't speak English because here, everybody speaks Spanish, so it's so comfortable, But yeah, first I was in Virginia, and then I moved down here to Miami.
So did you speak any English when you came to the state?
Zero, zero. I never went to school here neither because when I came, I already came with, I had graduated from high school back home in Nicaragua. So my options were to whether start working or go back, I don't know how many years back in high school. So because I didn't speak English. So I was like, no, that's not the plan. Let's get
Man,
in some better. And I just learned the English, like I said, like in the streets, like making an effort.
bro, your English is amazing. You would never guess that you
Thank you,
speak
brother.
any English. How old were you when you came to the States?
I'm sorry?
How old were you when you came to the States?
I was 17. I was 17 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. I was
Well, yeah,
17 years old.
you're definitely making a name for yourself, and all your fights out of Hardwook, Seminola. It seems like you're becoming a fan favorite there. Come out to that same song every time, or do you like to mix it out? I
Not
noticed
really, not really. I like to always change my workout song. It's depending on what I'm feeling, depending on what I've been feeling in the training camp.
your training. Do you listen to a lot of music? Do you find that hip hop gets you going, get you in that violent mind state?
It's crazy, not really. Like it can be different songs. It's like sometimes can be a Christian worship song that gets me going. Sometimes could be a country song. But typically I go for hip hop when I wake up because of my personality. Like I'm not the person that wake up dancing and stuff. Like I'm the type of person that I'm walking in knowing that I'm walking to a fight, like ready to put it on the line in there.
It's always a pleasure to see you make that walk.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed in your Insta bio, you haven't changed your record to 5-0 yet.
Oh, you're right. Thank you
What
for
you doing?
letting me know. I
Oh,
had to do that. That's true. Like I
that's
said, everything is happening like so fast. I don't know. I guess it's because it was a Thursday, man. I keep telling everybody, maybe because it was a Thursday because I fought on a Thursday night. Thank God, thank Jesus Christ. I came out of there like a man on the third round is when I was just getting ready to start fighting. And thank God, like I came out clean. So on Friday, it was like my hands too. My hands, like typically my hands are and even not even my hands were sore or anything. So on Friday, it was like a man. I shouldn't have took this day. I shouldn't have taken this day off and go back to work. But I still was kind of, like let me give my family time because obviously fighting and preparing for the fight takes a lot of time for my families. We spend the weekend off, but then on Monday, back to the grind, back to the plan. You continue preparing for the fights. Everything's been happening so fast. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I haven't
Yeah.
even didn't make many posts, but I need to get on that. I need to get on that. I gotta change that.
You got two young daughters. I'm a dad to a young daughter myself. And what I could say is like with the balance, I can't imagine you got the ferocious side of being a fighter. Being a dad myself, sitting at home, I find myself crying during Disney movies now. So how do you like,
Yeah.
do you flip that switch and you go from dad mode? Because I'm sure those girls think you're a different guy than what we
Yes,
see on the
yes,
TV.
absolutely. It's funny, but look, I read this, like and we call it balance, right? And I'm always trying to stay very, very aware of that. And I think this is something that kind of like helps me a lot. And we call it balance, but if you call it balance, it's kind of like you're trying to like make something even, between family time and your profession. And in reality, it's never gonna be even. I'm completely clear that I had to like fully concentrate and fully dedicate and sacrifice, to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. But I also don't wanna miss, like seeing my kids race and spend time with my family. So I call it kind of like being able to be in harmony. Like when I'm with my family, I'm 100% with them. I'm enjoying them. Like so. Yes, I'm in full daddy mode, and that's kind of like I think what helps me to kind of like save energy because then when I'm fighting or when I'm preparing to fighting, like you guys says, I can like completely switch it on and I go back to like I said, being the warrior, the gladiator, that I'm, like with a lot of bad intentions, to release. But then once again, like I cannot stay on like that the whole day. I'm not gonna go back home and continue like thinking and stressing and doing any of that. Like when I'm home, I know that it's time to like be home. So that way when it's time to prepare, I'm 100%. It's like same
Yeah.
thing when I'm training, I'm not trading and thinking of my daughters or what my kids are doing or no, like when I'm training, I'm fully there as well.
a true professional. You know how to separate the two worlds.
Absolutely, absolutely. Then fighting is the same thing, like
I
say
know
that
it
again.
takes a lot of patience to be a dad sometimes, so it probably a good release once you get in there.
Absolutely, definitely, absolutely. That's why training for me is my therapy, man. Like the only times that you will like see me cranking when I'm not training, cranking, like in a regular day is when I'm not training. Like, so yes, definitely it's a mental release being able to train.
And
I
I
get
think,
paid for it.
yeah, that's the beauty for you. For us, it's the same thing. Like we need to work out. We need to, the escape too from regular life. So we don't fight or anything, but for us, it's the same thing. We just want to be able to work out every day.
Yeah, you gotta do something to maintain those energy levels too, because when you do have kids, they start running circles around you. You gotta make sure you got that gas tank.
That's true. That's true. Well, like I say, I have 100% of my support from my family. My wife is amazing. So my kids understand that this is what I do. This is my career. They understand very well because I've been doing this for years. So they know when it's time for daddy to take a nap, like everybody knows that daddy's taking a nap, and they go play outside or on the other room. And my wife makes sure, like the kids are not like I say, I'm very harmony on my life. When it's time to rest, everybody knows I'm resting. And then when it's time to play, it's time to play. So because you guys right, energy management is important as well.
Where do you normally train? Do you have like a gym that you train out of, or do you have like your own?
I'm right here. I'm right here. I train the Freestyle Fighting Academy. Is the oldest mixed martial arts running here in Miami. It's been here in the same location, I think almost 27 years, if I'm not mistaken. Here's when I first walked in, not knowing how to punch. I was just like a street fighter, wannabe tough guy. And here's where they taught me everything, how to take my free punches, downs, and Marcos Avalan is a mentor for me now, and he's the one who's been taking, like my career from the very beginning. Now for the transitioning from MMA to bare knuckle, of course, like we understood that we needed more preparation and isolate the striking department. So I have a Hall of Famer boxing coach, Jorge Rubio. So that's my boxing coach. I do go and I work with Jorge Rubio on the mornings, focusing on boxing. Man, he has changed my style completely because it is important to adjust my style, from like a MMA style, even from my stance before. My stance before was for MMA, where I could like, kick, punch, takedowns. Now that that's out of the element, my style needed to change. So that's when, like my boxing coach came very handy and kind of like tuning in all those adjustment that I needed to get done and that I still adjusting as well. That's why every fight when I walk there, I'm more and more prepared because I already had the experience, but I still learning so much as well. If you get what I mean.
Yes.
So I'm training boxing and then during nighttime, my second session, I train here at the Freestyle Fighting Academy. And here, is when we train here's where I train my fighting, when I put my whole game together. I bring the boxing that I've been improving, but obviously, we know that we don't, at least me, my mentality is not to go in there and box. I want to go there and fight. I want to be the best fighter in the world. I just got to follow those Bkfc rules. Here at the Freestyle Fighting Academy is when we put together everything. We put together the boxing, clinching, defense, game planning, the conditioning, everything that come into being a full rounded fighter. That's the mentality I try to bring to bare knuckle fighting. Just like before, I felt that I have the ability to transition from striking to wrestling to grappling and so on. When you just thought that you were getting comfortable striking with me, I could take you down. That's the mentality that I bring to my fights as well. Like just when you thought that I was fighting on the outside, I'm fighting you on the inside. When you thought that I was just striking, I start clinching you. From clinching you, let you go back to striking and fight my fight, like call it, like fight at my pace, which is very hard to keep up, especially with the power that I carry.
Just when they think they got you figured out, you hit them with something new, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
savage. I like that. When you do your training, you try to do it no gloves, like when you're hitting pads, sag, and all that.
Yes, yes, like I try to do everything, like bare knuckle as well, especially now at this point. I mean, I've been doing well bare knuckles since 2022. Yeah, my skin is already, like dust, so it's not like it's opening that often or anything. I can, like I say, I feel that now with my knuckles, I can punch through a wall. But I try to do most of my training, yeah, like a bare knuckle. Now, if I'm training with a training partner, like we try to like depending what we work in that day, whether small gloves, we do partner build up on training as well because at the end of the day, really you need to be prepared to see those bare hands, like coming at you and being able to block and move freely, like no matter if it's like bare knuckle or not. Obviously, we do it more safely because
Yeah.
definitely like the chances of injuries. But yeah, most of my training is like with small gloves.
Yeah, you're looking pretty seasoned out there. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of holes in your game from footwork to head movement. Great start, 5-0. Do you
Yes, sir.
think how far away from a title shot do you think you are right now? Because I can argue already that your name should be in contention.
Man, listen, I was paying a lot of attention to this fight on this weekend on Dubai with Guy Stewart and this guy was a 3-0 guy. They are trying to be at the weight division to see who else is there, and I don't see anyone else there. I feel that you guys see it. I'm a hard person to figure it out, just like Guy Stewart. I'm 5-0 already. I'm ready. That's it. Most definitely, like I feel that I'm ready to have a fight, like for the title. So, like whether, like they have me fighting soon for it. I want to stay active though, so I don't want to be something that I'm trying to like be waiting. So whatever they put in front of me, man, I'm happy. I'm happy, like I've been saying it since the beginning because this is the mindset that I bring. In my mind, I'm already the champion. I'm already had the belt. As a champion, you gotta be ready to fight whoever they put it in front of you, whether number one contender, no matter what it is. And we're always preparing, ready for any style. So whoever they put in front of me. But yeah, I'm definitely that I feel that fighting all finishes and seeing my style the way that I fight, I think it will be a great fight already. Me fighting Kai Stewart for the belt.
Bro, it's undeniable. How can they deny you, bro? You're undefeated. You're finishing pretty much everybody. This has got to be your year, man. And I was gonna say, I've seen a video on your YouTube channel. You got a YouTube channel too, right? I seen a
Yes,
video of
yes.
you going for a run midnight on New Year's Eve. Was that just this year?
No, no, I've been doing this for years, man. Like basically almost in that since I started fighting amateur. It's another like I say, man, I work every day, I train every day, and this is my life, I coach so constantly my mind is thinking, fighting, training, getting better. How can I improve? And I'm a well, I'm undefeated, so I can tell you what type of competitor I am. I'm an extremely competitor. So it's a habit, the build the mindset that basically, the way that I see it, like this is a race. We all in a race. We all, like competing, and while the competition are hugging their family members and kissing them and cheering and celebrating New Year's, I'm already ahead. I'm already on the first mile, my first 2 miles. I'm already putting my first training session on midnight. So imagine, like they are the one now to catch up to me basically. Because that's kind of like the mentality that I'm trying to keep, and that's just kind of, I guess you can call it like a ritual, that reminds me what I need to do to be number one. I need to be ahead of everybody, and that's how we stay undefeated.
Yeah, man, that's an unbelievable mentality, bro. Like that actually kind of reminds me of Floyd Mayweather too. He was a big fan of going for those late night runs when everybody else is sleeping. He's out there grinding it, putting his feet on the ground. Is there any fighters that like you really looked up to growing up, or like that you like to watch nowadays in the BKFC or UFC?
Well, yeah, man. Like we're talking about boxing. Well, Mike Tyson. I was always a huge fan of Mike Tyson. I'm from Nicaragua, so like our number one champion, Alexis Arguelles. I always, like grew up watching him as well. And then all the legends, from mixed martial arts, George St. Pierre. Like been always one of my favorites, the way that he carried himself as well. Conor McGregor, my new boss now. I have always, like, man, when it comes to like belief and when it comes to, like, I love, like he revolutionized the game completely. But what I catch up more from him is, like believing, like put it on your head over here and doing everything you're supposed to do to see it coming, So yeah, those are, like some of the fighters that I have grew up looking up for at first.
Yeah, Connor, man, an absolute legend in the game, the king of law of attraction.
Yes, absolutely. Mystic Mac, like, like that's all I see. I don't see him talking crack. I don't see him, like being cocky. In reality, he believes it so much, like the only thing is that he has the courage to say it. But that's, like him attracting that, when he was calling out those finishes. That's why, like you see me every single fight, like calling a finish, like and I always say, like come and watch me put another man down. Because since the second that I gear up for an individual for a training camp, that I know that I have a day and I have a name, I already start visualizing completely exactly how it's going to go, and I start attracting it. And like I say, I don't see me going to the judges. I always finishing every single opponent. And to this point, like I say, I believe, it's been working.
Yeah, I've heard Connor do a bunch of. That's an amazing mentality to have, man. I've heard Connor a bunch of times mention the book, The Secret, as well. You ever read that book?
Which one? The Secret?
Yeah.
No, 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 I didn't. I didn't read it. I know, like, I guess probably you can see that I have here, like a short versions of it, but the one that it really like that I read, I still read a couple times, the Think and Grow Rich, which is kind of like similar, speak about the same, like love attraction and setting goals and visualizing those goals already being achieved. And yeah, if you guys haven't read it, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Oh man, definitely hold you on that, bro. I got to read that book, 100%.
Yes, most definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely.
Self-belief and discipline paired together is going to get you far.
Yes, sir. Most definitely, most definitely.
What else you got, Jay?
Well,
Honestly, I'm really anxious to find out when that next fight is. The next walk.
right. I'm hoping it's July, like I say, BKC always want to see me there. I love fighting here at the Hard Rock, like I was saying, like I had the opportunity to bring my whole team to cheer me up. I'm making a lot of noise here locally in Miami, and I have my students, my family, and man, I'm 35 minutes away, so it's extremely convenient. So I love it, but once again, like we're ready. So hopefully July.
Right on. Do you have an opponent lined up yet?
No, not yet. Like I say, whoever they put in there, whoever they
Yeah,
put in
that's
there.
probably becoming a tough task for them.
It's no difference, man. I just want to stay active. I feel that right now I'm on my very best. I'm on my top. I'm on my peak, man. I'm my fastest, my strongest, my explosive. My technique is just, like getting better and better. I'm getting more comfortable and more comfortable in there. I'm built for this, I guess that's cliche. But I think that all of that is due to how active I've been staying. Like 2024 was an amazing year. 25 starting great as well. So that's kind of like my main thing. I want to make sure to stay active. I think that, if I stay active in no time, that I'll be world champion. And that's my goal. My goal is, like this year I want to be world.
Hey, Edgard, you always fight at featherweight. You fight at featherweight, right?
Always, yes. I always fight at featherweight, 145, man. This is my weight, like because of my height. It's so easy to me to make weight, honestly, like I feel like I'm not putting weight. So I have, and like I said, this is where I feel the strongest and the better. Yeah, since the beginning, again, 145. I think one after five, like that's it. Let my opponent cancel and they put me another guy at 155, but I still waited at 145, so
Let's go.
I'm a natural.
What's the weight cut like? What do you normally walk around at?
Well, I stay live, I always stay in shape, so I have a lot of muscle. That's kind of like what the advantage for me, like all I do is water weight. I'm not dieting, I'm not restricting myself. which is kind of like the problem, when you start restricting yourself from nutrients, from carbohydrates, and then you try to like go and because you have to make weight, and then you have to go and recover the body in only less than 24 hours to go and fight the next day. That's kind of like, like what I see that is very problematic. So in my case, like I don't restrict myself from anything. Just like a typical day, I do a lot of fasting, intermittent fasting, and that's why, like for me, it's just kind of like cutting the water. And to cut the water is kind of like more like a management, like making sure that you overload your body, and then after that, making sure that you drop all the water. And since I'm very muscular, I have a lot of water retention as well. So yeah, like the weight cut is never a problem. Typically, like on my top shape, I'm walking around 162, 165. But then after that, like once again, it's a process that I do extremely easy. Like I'm barely cutting weight 2 hours before, 2 hours before weights. Or the way that I understand this, is that the shorter the time that I put my body through supplement, the faster it's going to recover. So if I take 4 days cutting weight, you're not gonna recover fully and be optimal in one day. You know what I mean? So that's why, like in my case, I try not to put my body to supplement or anything until I really, really, really had to, which is, like those last couple hours before making weight. So then when I start for me to rehydrate, once again my body recovers a lot quicker, and the next day I'm going in there feeling amazing.
Yeah, that's the similar strategy to what Elijah Harris told us about yesterday too. He basically cuts it down to the last day so that he doesn't have to put his body through all the
Exactly.
suffering.
And if you understand, weight management, and because the problem, man, I see these fighters going, like up in weight so crazy right after the fights, but like I say, with me, I try to always keep my body fat extremely low. So, like it's not something that I'm not putting my body through these ups and downs, they are so bad for the body. So I'm trying to like never go too high in weight, so that way when it's time to cut the weight, it's not an issue. And I guess that's why I say it is so easy for me, because it's just something that like I say, me, I'm a professional, and this is not a seasonal sport. It's not like a football, right? That has seasons, this is a all year round job, so I shouldn't be letting myself go or getting fat, like just because I'm resting. No, like I'm always, like taking care of myself, because at the end of the day, like I say, it's a race. Zero advantage to the competition.
Yeah, you stay ready so that you don't have to get ready.
Exactly. Correct.
Yeah, I like that, man. That's a true professional right there.
So with this, like, yeah, you're clearly highly disciplined on the meal because you look like you're cut from stone. Is there anything that you miss? Is there any like a dessert or something that is just it's off the table now, but maybe you used to like it back, maybe you had it for your birthday when you were 13, a cannoli or something, or
Oh
just
my
stay
brother. Once I get, like I say, listen, I'm not gonna say that I'm like I still had them. Like it's just like knowing when is the time to have that. You know what I mean? I don't want you guys to think that like this guy is eating like super clean or anything. No, I do indulge as well. So not really. I don't miss anything. It's just that like I know when it's time to. That's what discipline really is. Like being able to
that's true.
control yourself. So if I want to have, something that I really enjoy, I have it. But then, once again, I know when it's time to have it. Like I had kids. Don't forget, guys. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really tough. Like so I had kids. Like so sometimes, my kids or something at the schools, they invite me to breakfast with daddy or donuts with daddy and stuff and this and that. So I'm not that person that I'm gonna go there and, oh no, I'm not gonna have a donut because. But then if that's happening, obviously, when I'm in training camp, like 2 months, 3 months before my fight, then they do know, that you can have it, baby. They know that that is not having. Because once again, discipline also is mental. It's like I say, if I tell myself I'm not gonna eat this, I'm not gonna have donuts until after my fight, that's it. like there's no negotiation. But like I say until after my fight. Then after my fight, like I say after my fight, I have my donut. So this is just an example, right? Like I say, I indulge and then back to like, okay, that was good. Now I'm not gonna have it on my, you know what I mean? So having that self control. So no, man, I'm living the good life. I'm doing everything I like.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's the true meaning of discipline, man. You know, saying something and sticking to it, like you said.
Exactly. Yes.
I was gonna say too, I know you're so up in fighting and always training and everything. Is there any other like hobbies that you might have? Like I know with the kids and whatever. Is there anything else that you're into?
Oh yeah, my brother. I love it. Like I say, I love I do skateboarding. I love skateboarding. So back to the same thing, that's something that I enjoy a lot as well. Mainly what I like is this I guess like a new thing. Well, I don't know, it's not a new thing. I just find that out, which is wakeboarding. It's like this like skateboard. It's kind of like a you can like you
Yeah,
can use like a surfing on the concrete. Really, really big enjoying that a lot. And mountain biking. Mountain biking is something that like for years I've been doing as well, and I love it as a cardio and stuff that I can do because it has, like I say, they have like that little string of I know I'm getting in shape. It also has a little danger on it, but it's something that I'm always in control as well. If you get what I mean. And beside that, enjoying time with my kids, my family, going to the beach, like we had the beaches here near. Those are mainly my hobbies.
yeah, that Miami lifestyle. Seen a video on your YouTube channel. You're out on the beach working out with some calisthenics.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Like once again, like always finding the opportunity. Sometimes, when I go to the beach, but I did tell my kids, okay, don't forget, I told my family, we're gonna go to the beach, we're gonna have a great time. All right. But remember, before daddy start enjoying himself, he's gonna go for 45 minutes run. And I like running on the sun or I do calisthenics on the beach. And then after that, when I get back to my family, they already know that I'm 100% for them.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, I was out in Miami September 13th for that Reaver versus Blast card.
Yes, yes, yes. I was there. I was in attendance.
It was amazing, man. I like that like I was already in the bare knuckle, but after that, and I really grew closer to those Miami fighters, the ones that are on that Hard Rock Seminola card a lot. I missed you on that one, but I was aware. I seen you at 62. But yeah,
Yes, yes.
That Miami Ocean, like, that you don't see water that clear when you go to the Caribbean or all over. I've yet to see an ocean that clear. So it's a beautiful place to be. That's probably the best place to fight out of.
It is, man. I love it. I love it here. I love Miami. I love the Miami people. It's the beach, it's the water, the whole environment. Like Miami here. Like you can see a lot of people is like into fitness and stuff. So I love all of that. Like you go to the beach and you see a lot of people doing different activities. Like kiteboards. Some people are running, some people are skating, riding bikes and stuff. I really like that environment, like people take care of themselves, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That Miami vibe's different out there, man. It's
You
different.
got to be beach ready.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, another video I seen on your YouTube channel when you fought Dotson, you had to pop your knee back into place.
Yes, man. Yes, yes, yes. And actually, that's the reason why I was in the September part, because like I
Oh,
was healing. I actually had knee surgery right after that fight. Yes, like so. Check this out. In the very first round, in one of those exchanges, as I'm clinching, that when you clinch, sometimes it's like you gotta be so rigid on the upper body that when I punch, Ali, that's what happened to me. When I punch, I didn't turn my lower body. So when my upper body turned, me trying to hit so much, and I didn't turn my leg right away. No, I didn't feel that my knee went out of place. I just feel like something like my knee got locked. So I stayed standing, but I could realize that I could not extend fully the leg, and if I would like try to bend the knee, it will hurt. So it's like, okay, let me not do that. But obviously, experience, the first thing that came into me is like a poker face, like don't show, don't show, don't show. and right away I started, like trying to like coming to like finishing this guy. That point is all you can think. Okay, I gotta finish this guy because I wasn't thinking that my knee was gonna get any better. But then after that, like I was able to manage to not. I didn't finish him obviously, but I was able to manage to finish the round. And I went to the when I went to my corner, I was praying God and thinking, shoot, what I'm gonna do? Like it was not like a option or anything in my head. I'm not gonna continue fighting. I'm just here trying to think, like I had to grab this guy and I'm gonna have to lean on him and find a way to finish him from there because definitely I cannot move my knee. But when I went to the stuff, I was trying to like massage it, trying to mess around with it, and kind of like a instinct. I was like, I need to be able to stretch it because I couldn't like I couldn't like extend my knee, if you know. So I was like, I need to, if I just can stretch it, I'll be fine. So when I sit down on the floor, was to that. So I can like stretch it. And when I stretch it, it went right back in. I was like, oh, let's go. Like if nothing happened, I fully locked in right away. In the second round, when I got off the stool, I did like a couple jumpings to test the knee. Nothing happened. I'm like, I'm good to go. I'm finishing this guy. Man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm telling you, I'm destined for this because for that to happen and coming and no, and like I say, I'm finishing the guy in the third round as well. It was good.
Was that your biggest moment of adversity that you had to fight through in any fight?
I guess so, man. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. That was the very first time that I had that injury that early in a fight. On my first bare knuckle fight, I broke my knuckle, but it was during the very end. That was me knocking the guy out of that I broke my knuckle. So it wasn't nothing like I didn't see like an adversity. I was just like so committed to finish the guy, and I didn't feel it until I actually opened my hand. But this one happening in the very first round, yes, definitely that was the biggest adversity.
Unbelievable. You're a savage, bro. I can't even imagine popping my own my knee back into place and continuing to fight. Like,
Yeah, no, man. I go in there samurai slash gladiator slash Viking mentality. No, no, I burn all the bridges. I know that I'm going in there, like to finish my opponent no matter what. Like whenever adversity, I'm ready for it. So it didn't surprise me, like it didn't surprise me the way it play out. Like it's something, like that. um, I don't want to say that I prepared myself for it. It's just like I say, like when in mind there's no negotiation. I'm into a fight and I'm gonna fight to the end. I mean, I guess like that.
man, thank God for everything. Thank God for everything.
That Dodson
Man.
fight definitely put a lot of people on notice of who you were because Dodson's yeah he's been involved in some wars himself and he didn't look like he hurt you a whole lot. You had maybe a little scuff on by your eyebrow, but you look clean and he looked like he was taking some shots in there. So that
Yeah,
like
no,
I don't know. We'll see who's next for you, man, because not a whole lot of guys are lasting in there.
yeah, like I say, at this point, it's always gonna be the same result. It's something that you can expect from me is consistency. As you can see, like I'm not worried about who they put in front of me because I'm so focused on what I had to do and improve and fix on myself that when they put me the name, my coaches put me with the game plan. We know exactly what we're going to do, and I go in there and I make sure to implement. And if we can implement that, I'm very good at adjusting as well, And yeah, like I said, yeah, actually with Dockson's fight, is like when I finally started like feeling way, way, way more comfortable doing vertical, like I was able to do, like my first fight, I would say was my toughest fight, like my opponent was gay, Southpaw guy. I hadn't competed for like 6, 7 years, and I was preparing everything, but I was kind of like uncomfortable, like I don't want to say hesitating, but yeah, I wasn't as loose and comfortable as I wanted to, as I like to feel in there. And my second opponent was too quick, man. I got him out in the first round. So with Dawson being able to once again pass the adversary in the first round and be able to move around 2 more rounds, knockdowns. moving. I felt great. And then after that, you guys know the rest. Like every fight, I'm feeling even better. But definitely, I belong in there.
Absolutely.
Definitely competition in there.
We're definitely locked in for life with you, bro. We're not missing any fights by the Dream Killers. I hope this year, man, you get a shot at the title, bro, and you get a shot at Kai Stewart because you deserve it. There's nobody else,
Guys, thank you. Definitely.
you know. And yeah, if you wanna like plug something like your Insta, I see you already got your Insta handle at the bottom there, but yeah, if you got anything you want to shout out or plug, do your
No,
thing.
man, yeah, definitely. Well, no, yes, absolutely. I want to say thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it. Like, thank you for letting me basically, like, reach out people. Thank you to the Freestyle Fighting Academy, Marcos Haviland, David Haviland. Like I say, they're the one who's like since the beginning been believing on me. Jorge Rubio, my boxing coach, Aldo Espinosa, El Toro Loco MMA, my good friend and manager, my sponsor, El Toro Loco Churrasqueria, man. When you guys are here in Miami, you guys make sure to come and visit one of the locations, El Toro Loco Churrasqueria, the best steak down here in Miami. And my family, most definitely, for believing and supporting me, but most important to God, my Jesus Christ, my Savior. Thank you guys.
You're the man, bro. Pleasure is ours. Thank you so much for coming on, bro. Like you blessed us. We had a great conversation with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Cannot thank you enough for that. And yeah, we feel blessed as well, just being able to chop it up with you. So thank you to the Most High, and we hope to see you soon, man. July is coming real quick, and I feel like the Dream Killer's about to lay another man down.
And let's
Don't
do it
miss it, guys.
in the future.
Don't miss it. Don't miss it. I always like to put a show. I always like to once again bring the fight, keep a good pace. That's what I want. Like I'm not go. I don't go in there just to win and to score. I go in there to put a nice show. I always wanna like finish my opponent, and the more fashion way it is, the better.
And that's what everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to see those finishes. And you've been giving it to us. So keep it up, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All
Best
respect.
of luck, everybody. Throwing hands. Let's go.